Canada Soccer. A temporary funding agreement for 2022. A female national team players in principle agreement. He said. The women's team said they still haven't received payment for the 2022 season. The national administrative organ says that conditions of the temporary contract reflect a similar agreement with men's national team, including incentives per game and compensation. This respect about and is based on equalizing the competitive environment in an unequal world. Canadian Soccer Secretary-General Earl Cochrane said. This respect, and basically an equal world, said. A new Kapsekti bargain agreement with both male and female national teams is still negotiated. That is, this temporary agreement with women's players today is subject to change based on the last collective bargaining agreement. This temporary financing agreement comes in the midst of an ongoing labor war between Canadian football and women's national team. Players from the Olympic champion women's team, including Christine Sinclair and Janine Beckie, openly ovine about payment equality and fair treatment in the case of resources given to their programs. Last June, Canada's men's national team refused to play an exhibition game against Panama. And after threatening legal process of Canadian football, team was not in a position to be held at that time, saying that women's team was played under protest last month. It was a hectic week for Canada football. WatchCrooks. Canada Football Temporary President, Olympian Charmaine Crooks. Canadian Football Duration Temporary President 343. Olympian Charmaine Crooks was called temporary President of Canada Football and became the first woman and color person for role. Later on Wednesday, 5 times Olympian and Canadian Order member Charmaine Crooks was called the temporary President, the first woman and color person appointed for the role. Crooks has been elected Vice President in the Canadian Football Board since 2013-14 and in November 2020. I know and understand the calls to do this right, and I'm sure we can make a real progress for our national teams, Crooks said. Canada Soccer says final details of main agreement between two sides and final details of temporary financing agreement are concluded by their legal advisors. Although this is an important step towards, although it points progress, national programs have more work to ensure that both our programs are prepared and compete for our national programs, said.